10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Once in a lifetime, there comes a motion picture which changes the whole history of motion pictures. A picture so stunning in its effect, so vast in its impact, that it profoundly affects the lives of all who see it. One such film is...
Very good, thank you. Yes, thank you. Next, please.
Once in a lifetime, there comes a motion picture which changes the whole history of motion pictures.
Yes, thank you. Next.
Once in a lifetime!
Go away.
What?
Next.
What's wrong with my voice? My voice is all right, my brain is wrong.
有时候，有一部电影可以把整个电影的历史起了改变。
That's more like it.
库鲁萨瓦的《Seven Samurai》就是这样的一部电影。还有埃文
Pretty sure that's Burt Quirk.
其余的都是平常的电影，像《Herbie Rides Again》、《La Notte》和《Monty Python and the Holy Grail》。Monty Python and the Holy Grail 有许多滑稽的。
If you do not open this door, we shall take this castle by force.
When knights of the round table, we dance whenever we're able. We do routine to call a scene.
故事紧张。
One day, lad, all this will be yours.
What, the curtains?
Run away!
还有一些不花许多钱的危险账面。
Run away! We've got away! What makes you think she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt.
但是和 The Seven Seal 来比一下，这部电影就非常幼稚。
No, yes!
所以，如果您是一个知识界记的小家伙，您也喜欢傻笑什么事，也不能更糟。Monty Python and the Holy Grail 看完了，来这里吃便饭。
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of our semi-regular series, Cult Comedy Crew, where we celebrate the classic comedy of the past. And as Tim, I think, in the chat has confirmed, I'm pretty sure that was Burt Quirk doing the bit at the end there. And that's just what they looked like in the movies in those days in Britain. You'd have these adverts for local Chinese restaurants or whatever it was. Anyway, but I should say today we are here to celebrate one of the funniest movies ever made in history. It is, of course, Dentist on the Job, starring Bob Monkhouse and Kenneth Connor. Hilarious 1961 sequel to Dentist in the Chair. So welcome everyone as we talk about this great British classic. I hope you're all excited. On the other hand, we may be celebrating one of the most epic and historically accurate or hysterically accurate movies ever made in the history of things that are ever made. It's Monty Python and the Holy Grail night here. And we will have coconuts, killer rabbits, shrubberies, and hopefully a spanking or two. Is that right, Pope?
It's too perilous.
It's too perilous. And if someone says, I fart in your general direction, then it's not a personal insult to you. We are just quoting from the movie. And then again, it could be a personal insult to you, of course. So enough horsing around or non-horsing around. Get on with it. Let's just get on with it. I'm pretty sure I have that clip somewhere. Get on with it. I was convinced I had that clip on it. Oh, yes, I do.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it! Get on with it!
The first of a few clips. This is a very difficult movie to clip for these shows because of copyright stuff. So I've managed to get a couple of little things. But basically, this is now going to be 2 hours of us reciting lines from this movie and indeed any Monty Python stuff at random. Is that right, guys?
Pretty much. Although there is one point I'd like to make about this comedy, because I only know of 2 comedies that I've seen that I would describe this way. This is one of them. The other one is Blazing Saddles. This movie knows everyone in this movie, everyone making this movie, everyone in the crew in this movie knows that what they're going to produce and put out for the public to watch is a movie, not a story from 932 AD. So the people who get confused by all the breaking of the fourth wall, let me just say, this movie never had a fourth wall.
It was never a movie as such.
Yes, it's all a project, and you are the lab rat.
As 11 Alpha has quite rightly put, we need to be careful. It's a nice live stream you've got there. Be a shame if anything happened to it.
Yeah, well, things break, don't they, Colonel?
Don't they? Oh no, Gav, I've gone and broke the record. If you get a bunch of fans into the same room, you can quote the film start to finish. I will try and talk about the Holy Grail because that is the subject. Because if we were to talk about Python from end to end, we'd be here literally till the end of time. I do want to. Oh, it's Joe's backstage. Sorry. Yes, I did. It didn't ping. The machine that goes ping didn't ping.
I've been telling the guys in chat.
The most expensive machine in the room didn't ping. Welcome, Joe. Yes, we could talk about, if we were talking about Python as a whole, I don't know if we'd ever stop.
No. It would take way more than one stream.
It's so huge. God, you're so huge.
Right.
So amazingly large.
Yep.
What are you doing now? Averting my gaze, oh Lord.
That's right. Stop it. Stop that groveling. I hate it. Give it.
God is actually a cartoon version of an old cricketer.
Right?
From like the early 20th century. Very famous cricketer.
W.G. Grace or something. W.G. Grace, I think.
It was Grace, yes. Yeah. They decided he'd make a good god.
Anyway, in the immortal words of John Cleese, give it a kiss, boy. You don't jump straight for the clitoris. So we're going to start with the foreplay of the movie. We're going to start. Well, I'd like to welcome Pope, Just Another Red Shirt, and Joe to the show. My friends, my good friends. Sadly, we're missing our great friend Imperitus now that we've moved the time slot. So I just, it's a heavy burden to bear. But hopefully Imp can listen in at least while he's working. So welcome to everyone in the chat. It's good to see you all here for this this cornucopia of there's some lovely filth in the show.
Oh my God!
There's some lovely filth down here. We have Zach's
got shit all over him.
Shit all over him. That's right. And he's a king. He's not covered in shit. So Zax was here earlier, and we will be redirecting people to Zax at the end of the show because he's a good lad.
That's funny. We just sent everybody over here from my show, and now we're gonna go for a couple hours, and then we're going to send them all to Zach's.
We're trying to do that thing.
Passing it on.
Passing them on. We're trying to do that thing that people do.
We got you a Wednesday hump day lineup that's just pretty damn awesome.
Indeed.
Pay it forward.
That's right. This is the Wednesday night lineup. So we're in the middle portion right now.
That's it.
Which, kind of sags a bit in the middle. So Snorty is here, and I'm glad to see the Poopus is back, because I was worried that Snort had lost his Poopus, but it is back. Good to see you again, Snorty. Red Shirt obviously is there. We have the wonderful Davina listening to XTC Skylarking. Great album. And as I was saying in the chat, I've actually seen that band live. And as they quit touring extremely early in their career, because Andy Partridge had stage fright, I'm one of the few people that can say I've seen them live. And look at that, I'm special. Treat me special.
We knew you were special.
I'm special. I have special needs. Special education needs. Tim is here, and Tim was pointing out, as we quite rightly, that there is a River Knee in Virginia, and there's Po. And if you go, you can actually go from Po to Knee, so it's the Po Knee.
Yeah, but the question is, do they have a shrubbery?
They probably have a couple of split level things.
With a little path at the middle, so it looks nice.
I did say, is there an Eki for Tang River near it?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so Snorty points out, we are now in the night to say icky became
Now you've seen that movie that many too many times when you can quote that.
That's right.
Vince is here.
Type that. You've seen it too many times.
When I told my daughter what the show was about tonight, she said, "Oh God." She just sighed. If you could hear someone sighing in WhatsApp, she sighed.
Well, not everybody loves this movie like we do. My wife can't stand this movie. She doesn't get the jokes. It just boom, right over her head. She just doesn't get British humor.
Mrs. Redshirt said the same thing. She came home from the store, and I had just queued it up on the DVD player, and she said, "What's this?" I said, "Monty Python, the Holy Grail. It's for the show tonight." She went, "Oh God." And I'm reminded, Ricky Gervais in one of his stand-ups said, "Look, humor is a very personal thing. It's not really appropriate to say the comedian's not funny or that joke's not funny. It's perfectly reasonable to say, that joke doesn't make me laugh. I don't get that joke."
Yeah.
Monty Python is a joke, is like communist food. Not everyone gets it.
Not everyone gets it.
Well, just remember, as the Pythons warned us, these cute Bulgarian folk dancing girls are just a cover for a communist-inspired plot to take over the world.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. So, DJ Play Nice, good to see you. Yeah, D-Bud Martin is here, our great friend D-Bud. Good to see you. Yeah, divorce, or just, just cook her. Just barbecue her. Oh, we got a burner. We got an eater. No, sorry. That's how they ended the first season of Monty Python's Flying Circus on the BBC in 1969 with the Undertaker sketch, where they didn't really know how to end it, so they ended it with them going, a bit peckish. Yeah, we got an eater. Put the oven on. And that almost got them cancelled. Like, really, there was total outrage at the point. Zax is here. Our good friend Zax, as we're saying, we're in the Wednesday night pass it along mode. Joe, pass your show to me. I'll be passing over to you, Zax.
That's
good
right.
To see you, buddy.
We got an entire lineup tonight.
Indeed, it's the Wednesday. I'm the saggy bit in the middle, Zax, between the firm buttocks of either side of me, of Joe and you.
Now, I've heard this for years, but is it true that they first aired the Flying Circus right after a royal address?
I don't know. Maybe they did. It's probably.
Wow.
I know that the time slot they put it in, it was a miserable failure. But the BBC, in the way of the BBC, they said, "Oh well, we cannot." They went to them going, "We're going to make this show," and the guy, the BBC producer that they talked to, said, "Oh, I can only give you 12 episodes," and they thought they were just going to get thrown out of the building.
Right.
Well, I tell you, man, here in the States, we watched it on public television. That's where we watched it at.
Well, it was on PBS, and do you know which PBS station was the first to show it? Dallas. I'm very proud of my Dallas.
Really?
friends.
Really?
Dallas
Because I watched it on
first.
LPB, Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Yeah,
So D-Bud Martin, thank you for gifting 5 That 70s Rock Fan memberships. You are a wonderful chap, and those have been gifted to various people like Miura, I can't even say that now, Miura Girl, War Machine 3000, Matty Fullball Productions, Dave Bob, Pete Dencat. So how long is it? That's a rather personal question. So thank you for that, D-Bud Martin. Obviously, memberships are I know people bang on about this shit on YouTube. It's important, very important.
Yeah, you got
even a few members.
You got 5 new members, but guess who the longest tenured member is, boys and girls? It's right here.
Yes.
That's right.
He's got an atmosphere. So Joe is, yes, it does make a difference. So thank you, all those who support the channel. That would be at the Get the Flock Out level, but I don't happen to have that video here. So tough shit is the words on that. I'll just have to show this.
Boy, that was really something. I never thought it could be like this. Never in my wildest imagination. You're really something special.
That's how I feel about you all. If that doesn't worry you, I don't know what wouldn't. So I just want to show, before we get any further, my daughter did gift me this years ago, so she knows of my love of Python. It's the Black Knight.
Oh man, look at him without his arms and legs. It's the Black Knight.
My
Love
Black
it.
Knight pin. So I get that, Anthony.
Stumpy, as I call him.
Stumpy, yes.
I'm invincible. You're a loony.
Come back here. I'll gnaw your ankles off.
That's right. D-Bud Martin is indeed representing with the sheep emoji that I painstakingly created and uploaded. There is no cannibalism in the Royal Navy. Still no sight of land.
And when I say there is no cannibalism, I mean there is some.
I'm not eating Devons. He's got a gammy leg.
I'd rather eat Evans.
So anyway, there's a poll in the chat, by the way, of what is your favorite Monty Python movie. I ran out of characters, so I had to say, and now for something completely, and I had to miss the different. So
I think we all know what that meant.
It's very Python, though. And now for something completely.
See, I never considered. I know it's a movie, but it's their best sketches in movie form. Yeah. So I never really considered that one a movie. That one just seemed like a montage. It was
it was a recapitulation of the first 2 seasons put into a 90-minute movie for the American market, and I watched. I prefer the original TV versions to the re-recorded ones in the film. But they did get them some attention in America, which obviously the show until it was over in Britain by the time they showed it in PBS.
Yeah. Yes. Now this one, Life of Brian, and what's the other one you got on the poll there?
Meaning of Life.
Meaning of Life.
Oh yeah, The Meaning of Life. Yeah,
right,
The Meaning of Life is almost a sketch show too. Almost.
Yeah. Well, this is what they are. They're sketch guys, and we'll talk about that in a minute because it does have an impact on this movie. But I mean, aside from the roads, the legal system, sanitation, education, medicine, what have the Romans ever done for us? A different movie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Listen, strike women lying in ponds distributing swords is now basis for a system of government.
Oh my God, that's this one though. Oh my God. There's some watery tart lobbed a scimitar.
From some farcical ceremony.
Put me away.
They put me away. Yeah. So anyway, Monty Python and the Holy Grail released on the 3rd of April, 1975. A budget of about £280,000, if that. £280,000 soaking wet. The budget was so low. Which is about $600,000 at the time, $600,000, and it shows every cent of it is on the screen there.
Yes, it is
in glorious monocolor, or wherever it's. So it's hard to get an accurate total of box office over the many re-releases over the years.
Oh, come on,
and we're going to joke about
to get the number.
But they reckon it's made about $5 or $6 million. just at the box office, but probably an awful lot of physical media and streaming.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Every one of us has a DVD of it in our collection.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think every man I know owns this movie. So
yes.
Oh, I just picked up a free copy of Jabberwocky on DVD recently. So good for me.
There is a documentary that they did on the locations for Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Really?
And they went and they found all sorts of castles they wanted to use, but they were all run by, I don't know, it's something like Scotland Heritage or something.
Scottish Department of the Environment.
Yeah, so they were all, government managed castles. They were obviously public property by then. And just before they started filming and they had done all of their scouting, the Scottish government basically notified them that they didn't want them using any of their castles in this film. So they had to run back out and find a castle that didn't belong to this department of the Scottish government.
There's some private ones.
And they found one castle and they filmed every single interior and exterior on it except for the one on the lake.
Well, they ended up with two. There was two really. Yeah, as you say, the one on the lake was Castle Stalker, the aptly named Castle Stalker, which is actually, as you see them wading across the water, it is a tidal. It was on a tidal inlet in the West Islands, so it did get cut off. Doon Castle was the other one, which was used as Castle Anthrax, of course. But yeah, the reason given, you'll know the reason given. The Department of Environment in Scotland said it doesn't suit the dignity of the fabric of the buildings, what you're doing.
Exactly.
The Python said the dignity of the fabric, people were tortured and killed in these buildings. And you're worried.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure that went over very well, and they changed. They didn't change their minds.
One thing Python's always been great at is the every aspect of every project has got extra stuff, even the posters. So as we see in this one, it's a bit nominated for 26 Oscars, 3 Bryans, a Maureen, and a Sergio. And it sets the cinema back 900 years. Yeah, another film completely different from some of the other films, which aren't quite the same as this one. But so the albums, the soundtrack albums, all have extra stuff. There always be a book and it have extra stuff in it. Everything was always done. It wasn't just churned out there. They put a lot into it, And then
of course, a musical play for this one.
Spamalot, yeah, and that made them a fortune.
Yeah.
One thing the Pythons were always keen on was making money, because they were pretty skint to start with. So when the money started coming in, they were like, yes. So they weren't shy about that. As you can see, the cultural impact of this movie is such that this is a recent picture from a supermarket in the UK. Monty Python horror shows. Yeah, but it might not have made a ton of money at the time, but it did get a lot of people loving it. And it's constantly appeared at whenever they do a thing, top comedy movies of all time, it's always near the top.
Oh God, yes. But imagine you're one of the Pythons, and you've got this 280,000 pounds, and somebody goes and finds out how much it would cost to rent horses, and then people start admitting, I don't know how to ride a horse, and you go, well, what are we going to do? We can't afford the horses, and nobody knows how to ride them. They not only came up with the coconuts in order to make the sound of horses' hooves clopping, they got an entire scene of the movie out of an argument about it.
Yeah. And it suited the ethos of the movie because it was absurd, but also it hid the fact they had no money anyway. So
yes.
As I say, I couldn't really clip too much stuff about that, but we will be talking. We'll go through some stills of the movie, obviously, like we normally do. But here's a tiny clip.
Where'd you get the coconuts? We found them. Found them? In Mercia, the coconut's tropical.
We will go through those lines at length later, I'm sure. So,
yes,
as Tim points out, when they're in Germany, because they made two episodes in Germany for German television, dubbed into German, two particular episodes. They were separately made. They wanted to visit Dachau, but it was closing. They said, "Tell them we're Jewish." Oh God,
that was Graham. That was Graham Chapman.
Yeah.
When they showed up at the gates of Dachau and were told by the guard, "I'm sorry, we're closed." Graham said to one of them, "Tell them we're Jewish," and they did, and they let them in.
They let them in. Yeah. Anyway, so written by the Pythons. All of them, including Terry Gilliam, obviously, who writes as well as doing it. He did most of the animation, but he did write some other stuff. Directed by Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam. Apparently, only people called Terry were considered for this job.
Yeah, and they got along like oil and water.
So they didn't. First of all, nobody in the Pythons wanted to use the guy that directed the TV stuff. They didn't want that.
Right.
But nobody else wanted to do it because A, there was no money, and B, it was going to be a horrible experience, they thought. And it was. But so the two Terrys said, well, we want to direct. They'd never directed anything in their lives. Nothing. And Terry Gilliam was used to dealing with pieces of paper, as the actors complained about, because he used to treat them like crap. Oh, lie in that mud for 4 hours, Well, I'm not a piece of paper, John Cleese said to him. And Terry Jones and him, Terry Jones wanted to do it quickly. Terry Gilliam wanted to do it perfectly. So there was a lot of strife. It wasn't an easy shoot. But they learned how to shoot a movie by shooting a movie because they'd never done it.
That is a very Python thing to do.
It is like, oh, it's
great. Yeah. Movie. Does anyone know? Nope.
But it's just the way. I mean, it's like the Beatles, which they often compare each other to, and they obviously the strong connections. You know what? We'll just do it. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, I'd love to know how many times Graham Chapman had a bottle of gin, got fed up with a scene that wasn't working, and simply strode in front of the camera and said, "No, this scene is getting terribly silly. On my mark, cut the camera 4.
That's right.
Wait for it.
Far too silly. Stop it."
Yes.
Those are during some of the Black Knight filming. I mean, they filmed it in Scotland in April, where it's in the West Highlands, one of the wettest places in Europe, where it's raining and damp all the time. And it was a miserable experience, apparently. And all that chainmail is actually made out of wool.
Oh, God.
Which is lovely when it's warm and dry and you rub it against. I mean, it's made of wool. And, of course, by the end of the day, it was like down at their knees and weighing a ton because it was soaked. So, but there's just some of these scenes, shots they filmed. And they also had a BBC crew filming it, which was lucky because there's some footage of that. But just to go back to there's the American premiere, the American premiere. We'll talk about that in a minute because it's connected to the funding for the movie. There's the French. I wonder if the taunting in French in the French version was done in English.
That would make sense. Well, it doesn't, but it makes Monty Python sense.
Sacre Grail.
Sorry about that, guys. I thought I was muted.
Right.
Dude, the cast of this thing. My God, every one of these guys.
Oh, they're great.
You know them. You know half of them's names: Eric Idle, Graham Chapman, Kevin Kline, or not Kevin Kline, but
he's Python connected, obviously. But
yeah, it's crazy. Man.
So the team, as we see there, so yeah, Eric Idle, Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Terry Jones, Michael Pale, and Terry Gilliam, all worked in various. I mean, we could do a whole history of Python thing, and one day we probably will, but they'd worked in various combinations in the 60s. In 1969, they all kind of ended up together and said, why don't we make a TV show? Went to the BBC, just thinking they were going to get thrown out the door, and they got, oh yeah, well, we'll give you 12 episodes. So they made Monty Python's Flying Circus, which it took them a while to pick the name, back in 1969 was the first season. Yeah, I am used to the feel of wool at my knees. That's really Kevin 6, welcome Kevin 6. I still have my little weird rabbit of Cairn Bannig plushie that bites the stuff. That's nice.
There's two other people that deserve honorable mention who were there with Python and the Flying Circus at the beginning. Carol Cleveland, who plays Yeah, and Neil Innes, who did a lot of music that Eric Idle didn't do.
We will talk about those for sure, my friend. Absolutely, well mentioned. They were there right from the start. Yeah. But 1974, though, they'd done 4 seasons of the show. John Cleese didn't even. This is them doing the Alan Wickers. They used to do spoofs of TV people. Alan Wicker was a presenter in Britain, although I think he might have been American originally. Not sure. So they all dressed up doing here in the island of whatever, and they were all Alan Wicker.
Yes.
John Cleese left, didn't do the 4th season. He never wanted to do any more TV seasons, but the CBC in Canada had broadcast the show in 1970, and then in 1971 they made it. They made and now for something completely different movie, which was sketches from the first 2 seasons, re-edited and re-recorded. Released it in America. Wasn't a huge hit, but it did get them cult fans. They got a lot of cult, especially on the. They got a lot of cult on the college circuit, I believe.
Yes,
they were just covered in cult.
And by the time they did their live show at City Center, I suspect a lot of fans of Python have seen their live show at the Hollywood Bowl, which they made a movie of. But they did live at City Center, and I lived in New Jersey at the time, and I just could not get my parents to agree to go into New York City to see it because my father hadn't started watching it yet. But one of them said they were in the theater, and one of the first sketches was on, and one of the other Pythons, there was a peephole by just next to the curtain, so that like a stage manager could look out and check the state of the audience. And one of the Pythons looked out the peephole, and he turned around with a stunned expression on his face, and he said, "You're not going to believe this. Everyone in the audience is mouthing the words as the sketch is happening. They all know all the words, folks."
Yeah, indeed. And then, so ironically, as we said, the show had ended in Britain, but some PBS stations picked it up, Dallas being the first. So very proud of Dallas for that. And then started showing PBS. They became a big cult, and all the comedians in America started absolutely worshipping them, but they conceived the idea of Holy Grail between seasons 3 and 4 of the British TV show. As far back as January 73, they'd come up with the idea, let's make a movie. What are we going to make it about? Originally, they said, John Cleese said, when they wrote it, half of it was set in the modern day and half of it was back in the medieval era. And then I think they just said, screw it, we'll just set it all in the medieval era, and that way you can do whatever the hell we want. And nobody will expect that. Nobody will expect
the Spanish Inquisition.
So the transvestite lumberjack. Not quite sure that's what the song is called, but so anyway, funding. They never had money. I mean, the BBC stuff was made on a budget of like, £3 3 shillings and 5 pence. The movie, to get funding, first of all, they were lucky their albums were on Charisma Records. So all these great albums the Pythons made in the early 70s, which I've got all the vinyl back there, they're hilarious. Charisma was a big rock label, Tony Stratton Smith's label, and they had bands like they had Genesis and some other bands like that. So they got funding from, first of all, they got funding from Pink Floyd. Led Zeppelin gave them some funding. Jethro Tull and Ian Anderson. Some of the acts like Genesis on Charisma gave them money. Elton John threw in some money. £20,000 each, because they saw it as a tax write-off because they thought it would be a miserable failure.
Yeah.
But they liked Python, but so all these rock stars got on board. This was pre George Harrison getting involved with Handmade, but he was a big fan, but they just hadn't connected with him yet. So they got the money that way, and with some other British Film Foundation money, they got this miserable budget together. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, and I can't find any photographs of it, they attended the premiere in New York, and everybody was handed out coconuts at the premiere, and they had mounted knights riding up and down Broadway. So, but Page and Plant were there for the premiere, which is pretty funny. But yeah. the cast, as Joe was talking about. So Graham Chapman, who played King Arthur, also did the voice of God, but they all did multiple little parts, but this was his main part, and he was kind of, nobody wanted to do it. The others all wanted to just have the funny parts that had the quests or whatever. They did, oh, it's too many lines, we're not doing this. So he kind of ended up volunteering by default.
And he's great.
He was great. He was great in the role because he had to play it straight. He hasn't really got any funny lines. He's maybe got one funny line. It's tough being the straight man, which is ironic given it's Graham Chapman. But, he was great in the role, but the trouble was he was an alcoholic, and he completely blanked on his lines all the time. So it was like he couldn't remember his lines. He just looked blank all the time. And as we were talking about earlier before the show started, as Red Shirt was talking about some of the stuff, Graham Chapman was a mountaineer and a member of the Dangerous Sports Club. So he was a pretty out, guy that did stuff. He couldn't walk over the bridge of death because he was scared. Plus, he was drunk, so he didn't want to do it.
If you watch the scene where they're walking along the ledge, headed for the bridge, everybody's just sort of strolling along, and they're 50 feet off the bottom of the ravine.
Yeah.
Chapman has his back to the edge, and he is looking for handholds with both hands as he sidles along with his back to the wall, like he's got 1,000-foot drop below him, and he's halfway up El Capitan.
That's right, bloody peasant. He was definitely the one to play Arthur, and I think he's the best natural actor amongst them all.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, he's the others are all great comedic actors, and some of the like Michael Palin's done a lot of great stuff since
his military stuff as the military commander is just great.
So,
Stop that.
So Chapman did a great job as Arthur. Thankless job. He isn't John Cleese on a bit of a, having a bit of a break. Just John Cleese looks like he's got a moustache on there.
He does. That's him playing the French knight.
So that's the scene.
Go away, or I shall taunt you a second time.
I have a clip of that, but so Sir Lancelot the Brave, John Cleese. We forgot. Yes, of course, King Arthur did become king because of some farcical aquatic ceremony. We shouldn't forget that. John Cleese plays Sir Lancelot the Brave, who kind of also he's got a kind of a thankless role in that, although he does save Sir Galahad the Pure from certain temptation.
Yes, he does.
In Castle Aaaarggghhh.
Yes.
No, I think I can handle it. No, you got to come with me. No. But of course, he also plays the Black Knight, the French taunter, and Tim the Enchanter.
Yes.
And I think this would be an appropriate time to show. We can't show the actual taunting clip from the movie because it just gets claimed straight away. But luckily, the BBC filmed them filming it.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's a documentary they made about this, and it actually is pretty neat because it isn't John Cleese doing the voice; it's just some stand-in, grip doing the voice, but it still works, still pretty nice. I just have to make sure I find the right clip, so forgive me. I didn't write them in the. Maybe didn't write them in the right. This is it.
If you will not show us the Grail, we shall take your castle by force.
I blow my nose on you so-called King Arthur. You and your silly English nigget.
Strange. Now look here, my good man.
I don't want to talk to you no more, you empty-headed animal, foot trough wiper. I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries.
Is there someone else up there we can talk to?
No. Now go away or I shall taunt you a second time.
Now this is your last chance. I've been more than reasonable. Run away! Run away! Run away!
They threw a dead sheep at me.
A dead sheep. Never throw a dead sheep at somebody. But the funny thing is, there's a clip of them showing. There's part of that is when you see the close-ups of John Cleese, it's just a piece of fake wall held up by some people. He's standing behind it. It's not up in the battlements. But there's also a scene where you see them piling up all the rubber animals to throw. But anyway, it's neat that we can show that because it was a BBC thing. But the guy that's doing the voice, he said he was some Glaswegian guy, and it was really weird to hear him do that stuff. When John had rehearsed it with him, obviously. So he also plays the Black Knight, famously, of course, the French taunter, Tim the Enchanter. But the guy, another guy, oh yeah, some of his roles there, of course. We go and boil your bottom, sons of a silly person. But I will taunt you a second time.
That's it.
And again, just ludicrous. Why are you French? Why are you here? What are you even doing?
Right in the middle of England.
Mind your own business.
I told them we already had one. I think he bought
Fishy Lavash. What? Fishy Lavash.
Brave Sir Robin. There he is, my hero.
Yes.
So Eric Idle, Sir Robin, the not quite so brave as Sir Lancelot. Brave Sir Robin, who nearly fought the Dragon of Angor, nearly stood up to the vicious Chicken of Bristol, and personally wet himself at the Battle of Maiden Hill. And the song, written by Neil Innes, who's behind him as the minstrel, that song, we can all sing it, I'm sure.
Bravely
bold Sir Robin, bravely bold Sir Robin, rode forth from Camelot. He was not afraid to die, oh brave Sir Robin. He was not at all afraid to be killed in nasty ways. Brave Sir Robin. He was not in the least bit scared to be mashed into a pulp, or to have his eyes gouged out and his elbows broken to have his kneecap split and his body burned away and his limbs all hacked and mangled. Brave Sir Robin. His head smashed in and his heart cut out and his liver removed and his bowel and his nostrils graped and his bottom burned off and his penis. That's quite enough for today.
I love it when they approach the guy. He says, "What are you here for?" And he goes, and the one behind him goes, "To fight."
And no. Just passing through. Just passing through.
And then when he's running away, brave Sir Robin ran away.
I didn't.
So he also played, of course, the bringer out of the dead. Bring out your dead.
Yep.
Which is also a great one. He played Lancelot Squire Concord. He was Roger the Shrubber, who just happened to be passing by at the right time for plot purposes. Brother Maynard as well. So he had a lot of parts, Eric Idle. And then we, of course, have Sir Galahad the Pure, Michael Palin. Also leader of the Knights Who Say Knee, the Lord of Swamp Castle, a huge tracts of land.
Huge tracts of land.
Not singing that bloody thing here. Stop it.
No singing.
No singing. And then
stop that.
Obviously, my all-time favorite, Dennis, the constitutional peasant, which I wish we could play.
Dennis, there's some lovely filth down here.
Yeah, but isn't it funny how the Pythons always looked good as women? Well, they didn't look good, but they played a lot of old women. Old women, man. Sorry. I'm 37. Oh, no, actually, that reminds me, I've got a quiz. Shit, I was just about to give the answer away. Shall we do the quiz?
You might know the answer to this, Brian, but the female characters they played, loud, shrill voices usually, were known as pepper pots.
That's right. They all the little black clad. And they had the one where they went round grannies, Hell's Grannies.
Hell's Grannies?
Oh, my God.
Up.
Yes.
But they always loved
every time my wife goes shopping, I said, "What did you buy?" And if she's in the mood, she'll say, "A piston engine." I said, "What did you buy that for?" She said, "It was a bargain."
What's on the television then? Well, it looks like a penguin to me. That's one of my favorites. And now your penguin on top of your television will explode. So I forgot. I have a quiz. Shall we do the quiz?
Sure.
Question 1. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? It's a trick question.
What do you mean? African or European swallow?
That's the answer. Correct.
Yes.
The answer is actually African or European.
What? I don't know that.
How did you know that? I'm a king. You got to know lots of things.
You need to know these things.
Question number 2. See, the chat are not going to get a chance to answer these, but Andy Pickle got it. How much does it cost to dispose of your dead?
9p.
9p. That's right. We're not giving the chat any chance here. 9p. But thank you, Andy Pickle, for chiming up with the last question. Question number 3. If I can get it to move on. What is the punishment for being naughty in Castle Anthrax?
Is this a spanking?
A spanking, and that's only a partial answer, I'm afraid.
Oh shit, you're right.
And the oral sex.
And followed by the oral sex.
I don't know about that. That sounds far too perilous.
Bonus point if followed by the oral sex. Okay. This quiz is constructed just like the movie at great expense whatsoever.
Yes.
Next question. Thanks for playing along, everybody in the chat. What is the holy hand grenade number of counting?
3.
3.
5 is right out. 3.
3 shall be the number of the counting is the specifically correct answer. Not 4. Not shall move on to 4. Nor shall thou go back. Stop at 2. 3. Peter Venkman, yes. Well played. What is the question 5? What is the beast? Sorry, I should say. What is the beast encountered in the cave of Caer Bannog?
What, behind the rabbit? No, it is the rabbit.
This is in the cave, though, not in the cave.
Oh, that's right.
Cave.
I can't remember the name of it, but it had a whole bunch of eyes. I can't remember the name of it, though.
Well, it probably did. The rabbit is out front. That's the rabbit. But this is the Black Beast of Aaaarggghhh.
Yeah, Aaaarggghhh. That's right.
Black Beast of Aaaarggghh.
That's right.
Is that how it's spelled? Aaaarggghh. No, A. No, it's not A. It's Aaaarggghh. I may have misspelled Aaaarggh. My apologies. That's right. Vince gets it. What noise, question 6, what noise must the Knights of Ni never hear?
It.
That is correct. It is it. He said it again.
He said it
I
again.
said it. I said it again.
Stop saying. Oh, no, I've said it.
Question 7, what animal is most feared by brave Sir Robin? We've already mentioned it. It could be.
Well, of course it's the rabbit.
Well, no, he didn't know about the rabbit at first.
Oh, that's true. Yes, it's only in the background.
Yes, it is one of the ones we already mentioned. It is the chicken of Bristol.
The chicken of Bristol. That's right. I forgot.
The chicken of Bristol. Held Bristols. What was that the joke in the Monty Python live election special? We've heard that Reginald Maudling has held Bristol. That's not a result. That's just a rumor. Question 8. Reginald Maudling was a British politician. What question? Oh, yeah. What question got Sir Robin thrown into the gorge of eternal peril? What was he asked that threw him off?
What is the capital of Assyria?
That's it. What is the capital of Assyria? I don't know what the answer is, but
nobody's ever been there. Except Assyrians.
Assyrians, yeah. Question 9. What did the Lord of Swamp Castle most want to get his hands on?
These huge tracts of
land, of course.
Tracts of land. She's got huge tracts of land.
That is the first joke I ever heard about this movie before I saw it.
Yeah.
As the guy held his hands in front of his chest and waggled his fingers and said, "She's got huge tracts of land." And I just laughed. I fell over laughing, and I'm like, I gotta go find this movie.
People said I was mad building a castle in a swamp. Built a castle, fell over, burnt down.
And then fell into the swamp.
But the fourth one
built another one, sunk. But the third one
stayed up.
Stayed up. That was also Michael Palin indulging his northern accent.
Yes, he loves it. He's good at it. Yorkshire.
Well, he's from there.
We used to get up at 10:30 at night, half an hour before I went to bed. Lick road clean with tongue. Clean the lake. Question, huge tracts of land. Question 10. How old is Dennis?
Oh, come on. Am I the only one who knows this?
I said it already, but let's see if the chat get it. Give it to let's
see that. Come on, chat.
How
this
old is
yours.
Dennis? How old is Dennis?
How old is Dennis? Yes, Vince
Womack is the winner. 37. Dennis is indeed. He's not old.
I'm not old.
And I'm not a woman. Well, it's just the automatic assumption you're my superior or superior to me. Well, I am your king.
I didn't know we had a king.
He's not old. You're living in a fan. Was it your sister? You're living in a fantasy land or something.
You're living in a dictatorship.
Dictatorship, yeah. King of the Britons. King of the who? Who are the Britons? You're fooling yourself. We're living in a dictatorship, a self-perpetuating autocracy, etc. The bit I like is when he really gets stuck in at the end. Where is it?
Come and see the violence inherent in the system.
Yeah,
I'm being repressed.
Yeah, when he talks about we're living in an anarcho-syndicalist commune, which is very 70s of them. We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. This is peasants that are, and you see them later when they're, I think, before they're in the forest. What's more filthier, Dennis?
So it's a stream. They're down in the river and they're walking across. I think they're headed for the Timney Enchanter at that scene.
Yeah.
And they walk right by them, and they barely show up on the shot at the bottom, but they're in the bottom of the creek bed, digging mud out of the creek bed.
That is some of the finest stuff. So back to the cast. I gotta find the right bloody screen. So anyway, Michael Palin and was it Cleese and Chapman tended to write together. Palin and Jones wrote together, and poor Eric Idle was always on his own. And Terry Gilliam, of course, was the animator. So, so that was the. So anyway, speaking of Terry Jones, Sir Bedivere the Wise, who can expose a witch using science.
Yes,
a very large set of scales. That's terrible. So also he said when he was he was so busy directing, when it came to his scenes, he'd never learned his lines, and he had like 5 minutes to try and learn them. He's like, shit, I forgot. Llamas.
And this scene is another example of low budget. A highway, like probably an A road, went right by the place they were filming. So several of them went out. They would flag cars down with holidaymakers and tourists and ask them if they'd like to be in a movie. And they'd bring them in here, and they gave them a hasty costume. They didn't put any makeup on them or anything. They just put them in the scene at the back to make the crowd bigger.
And then they always had trouble with that.
Yeah. And they said, just yell when the characters are yelling or something.
Yeah.
And, she's a witch. She's a witch. That's your cue.
They struggled to get extras because they could only offer £2 a day. And they said nobody wanted it, not even students. It was just wasn't enough for. And it was a quiet area. I mean, Glencoe and the area around it. They were staying in a town called Ballachulish, which is a beautiful West Highlands port, a tiny little port, beautiful place, but very remote. So you weren't going to be able to rustle up a lot of people to do act as extras. So, but anyway, Terry Gilliam was the animator, but also played Patsy. He also played the Bridge of Death Keeper.
Yep.
He always got the ugly roles, he said.
Yeah. And that is the old man from scene 24.
That's right. He comes back again. But he's like in The Life of Brian, where he's playing the jailer.
Yes.
He's like, he's always got the ugly roles.
Well, they also needed to give him roles where he didn't need a creditable British accent.
That's right. He's American.
He's American. And yeah, so he got all that growly roll like this, you know, that
He
didn't
was
have to sound normal at all.
He was the Green Knight as well. The Black Knight kills in that fight.
Yep.
Anyway, Connie Booth, or Connie Lingus, as I like to call it, Connie Booth was the witch, also known as Miss Islington for some reason, but I don't think anybody calls her that. But the witch had been a regular in the TV show right from the start, married to John Cleese at that time.
Yep.
Great. And she also was obviously in Fawlty Towers. It's Polly, co-writer with John Cleese, the Fawlty Towers. So I don't think they were married for much longer after that. But yeah, so she's in mainly. I think she's just playing the witch in this, and maybe she's in other bits and pieces. But you'll see her in the TV show all the time. But the other person you'll see, the aforementioned Carol Cleveland.
Yes.
Oh,
who plays Zoot and Dingo. The identical twins of Castle Anthrax. And this is a great wall breaking scene there when she talks straight to the camera. Fourth wall break. She was another regular from the TV show, a great comedic actress and rather pneumatic, if I say so.
She was.
Woof.
She was actually British but raised in the US, and at one time was a Miss California Navy and a Miss Teen Queen in Mad Magazine.
Wow.
Before returning. She's quite the thing. Before returning to the UK.
We call that a bombshell.
Indeed.
We'll call that.
So she did a lot of British TV, The Saint, The Persuaders, Avengers, Two Ronnies, Morecambe and Wise, Spike Milligan, but also all the Pythons. Whenever they needed a large-breasted blonde.
Yep.
But she's actually a great actress. I don't know which sketch that was, but John Cleese looks a bit weird.
Oh, that was a spoof of British sitcoms. John Cleese is playing Attila the Hun, and she's Mrs. Attila the Hun.
Mrs. Attila the Hun.
And it's the Huns at Home was the title of the show they're supposed to be doing, and it was insane.
So the aforementioned Neil Innes, who did the original songs, the rest of the music was this canned music that was in from old movies that they got for free or licensed for very cheap. So all the was all just this, and they thought it was funny. They picked it because they thought it was cheap and corny and funny, but it was from old movies of this kind.
Yeah.
But Neil Innes did the original stuff, played the minstrel. He obviously was a long-time Python collaborator in the shows and in the stage shows. Great musician, creator of the Ruttles with Eric Idle, but Neil Innes was really the music guy.
We talked about them before, haven't we?
Yeah, we did a Ruttles show. Yes, I love the Ruttles. We did I won't get. Don't drag me down the Ruttles hole because I'll keep going.
Oh, not going to.
Oh yeah, no, that's not a rabbit
Next
hole.
slide,
That's a
please.
wormhole.
Yeah, that's right.
Stop that.
Almost be in love. Now, as we were saying earlier, the DVDs and I assume Blu-rays now of the Python stuff is great. The Holy Grail one's no exception. It has an entire. This is a sample of the menu of the DVD. It has a complete subtitle track for people who do not like the film, and it's basically taken from Henry IV Part 2. So if you don't like the movie, you can just watch those subtitles instead.
Yes.
And another thing that they do is this we were talking about before. It has a menu. The menus are all great animated. To see the extras, insert disc 2. No, into your DVD player.
And they actually hired someone to narrate the second line of that.
Yeah,
so it says it to you. You don't just have to read it.
So I cannot recommend highly enough Python DVDs and albums and stuff because they've got so much extra shit in them. Like this two set DVD is just packed with funny extras and little sketches you don't see anywhere else and stuff. So
that's the special edition DVD.
Yeah.
And it is worth getting if only for the extras, even if you get a Blu-ray or something. Even if you get a Blu-ray because you like the quality better, the DVD is worth owning for the extras.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The intro scene, the little British sitcom that they put before the regular movie, that is on the special edition. The extras are fantastic as a whole second DVD of nothing but extras.
Yeah. So this was the LP, the album of the soundtrack of the trailer of the film of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yes.
And the back cover of this is just brilliant. The front cover looks great, and the back cover is a piece of cheap crap, basically meant to be. And it's got a warning: this record can only be played once.
Yes.
And then the ingredients: Terry Jones untreated polysaturates. It's just this kind of thing, And then what the press said about it. But I wish I could have lived to see it, Reginald Maudling. But you are alive, Reggie dear, Margaret Thatcher. We smirked a lot, the Queen. Made my hair grow again at last, F.K. Sinatra. Made me want to eat my own vomit, Guy the Gorilla. And then there's a whole lot of stuff about Nixon on there.
All my idea, Richard Nixon. Nice.
Not entirely his idea, Jay Magruder. It's just the albums are full of this stuff. They're absolutely brilliant. So,
yeah.
So, let's do that thing we do and start looking through just some of the stills, and we'll just start reciting lines.
Oh my God.
Yeah, before we really get into it, you do have to, take your hat off for all the people who got sacked during the making of the credits.
They did. A lot of people.
Yes, a lot of people died so we could get these credits. Yes.
So you go to a movie normally, you get the credits. Here you get something just completely off the wall. There's three sets of credits really. First, there's the ones with the Swedish stuff on.
Yes. And then it goes, and then it stops translating and starts talking about moose.
Yeah. So why not try a melody? It's like cod Swedish. See the lovely lakes. And we're watching the movie. Friends, we're a bunch of us kids, and we're watching this movie. We're going, what's that at the bottom of the credits?
Yep.
The wonderful telephone system.
You can't tell me that Kevin Smith, when he made Dogma, wasn't a fan of this when he did his opening thing on that movie. You know what I'm saying?
With
the
special
platypus thing and everything.
Before you move on, with special extra thanks to standard credit and then signed Richard M. Nixon. At the
Richard
very
M. Nixon. It's just this. You're 2 minutes in and you're already helpless with laughter.
And you have to pause these because they don't give you enough time to find and read all of the gags.
Andy Pickle's right, and I had forgotten about that. Matt Frewer is in the Crimson Permanent Insurance scene, which is the opening movie for The Meaning of Life, and I'd forgotten he was in it. Yeah. Speaking of Matt Frewer, I picked up 2 seasons of Lex for the other day for like $1.99 each. Anyone remember Lex? Canadian sci-fi show?
Can't say that I do.
It was always shown very late at night because it had a lot of boobies in it.
Well, you shall have to educate us about it one day, sir.
I will.
Where did you find them?
In a thrift store.
That's where he finds everything. He's like my wife. He walks into places and prices drop. It's ridiculous.
Sealed copies of seasons 3 and 4 of Lex, which is a real treat if you watch it. It's a great show.
Whoa!
In the middle,
they've got huge tracts of land.
And Mark Frewer is in some of it because it was a Canadian production. It's got a few other well-known people in as guests, but
Lex.
So I'm waiting to see if the same store will put out seasons 1 and 2 because they put stuff out just at random. So Lex, great show. First season was the best. That's true. Anyway, back to the
rock fan.
Sorry, wrong one. There we go. So then the first set of titles gets sacked. Oh, and then it said a moose bit my sister.
No, really.
She was carving her initials in the moose.
Fillings
all the subtitles.
That's the thing.
Fillings of passion. His finger within an Oslo dentist and star of many Norwegian movies is a dentistry thing with pythons. The hot hands of an Oslo dentist. The huge molars of
fillings of passion.
It's a man's life in the British Dental Association.
And then they get sacked. And then the next lot gets sacked. And then we get into the llama section, as Andy Pickles pointing out. It's llamas all the way now.
Yep.
Moose trained by. Oh no, we're still in mooses. Siggy.
Still in moose.
Moose costumes.
Moose trained to mix concrete and flying in.
Moose Taylor's moose.
Moose noses wiped. Large moose on the left-hand side of the
suggestive screen. Poses for moose. Suggested by.
Yeah, Antler Care by Liv Thatcher.
See, in Maine, they don't call those antlers. They call them shovels.
And then we get the llama, the cheap, crappy music with the llama stuff.
Yes. Ralph the Wonder Llama.
And Terry Gilliam introduces England 932 AD. I think I'm missing the slide that says Saturday afternoon or whatever.
That's Life of Brian.
That's true, yeah.
These movies can
Judea,
sometimes
whatever.
run together.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon and then about tea time.
And
About
this
tea time. Yeah,
obviously is the most authentic telling of the tale of King Arthur that you'll ever get.
That is true.
But the coconut gag was one of the first things they actually came up with, because like when they started writing, and that was kept all the way through. They came up with that pretty early.
That's damn funny, man.
And let's be honest though, and they are honest when you read them and listen to interviews and talking about it. It was a collection of sketches that they used the quest thing to hang around it, to knit it together. There's very little narrative plot. It's the collection of sketches. And they started looking for all the sketches they'd written that they could put into it. And then we get the whole, like, I just can't, the thrill of seeing this for the first time, going, what the hell are they talking about? Yeah, Douglas Adams must have got a lot of inspiration. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. I still remember watching this movie for the first time, and like the whole way through, you just never get rid of the feeling of, what the fuck am I watching?
That's right. What is this? Is this? It's just not a normal movie in any.
Yeah, it's the feeling is, what am I missing?
Yeah, what am I not getting here?
Right.
But look, fans of this movie have seen it so many times because you can't get all the jokes in one viewing. You have to watch it over and over again to catch everything.
I mean, this whole absurd sequence, as if two guys on the battlements of a medieval castle would be able to talk about these things.
Right.
It's all about airspeed velocity, isn't it? The weight to lift ratio.
Yeah.
He never gets an answer about their master.
No, they're having two different conversations.
Yes.
Where's the other guy?
It swings 43 times a second.
There he is. He comes.
Am I right?
No, that's my point. Well, I get it. Yeah, did drop some acid. A lot of people probably did.
Yeah, they probably did.
And he just gets bored and goes away.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
What you have to count in a line. What, like, you get a bit of creeper. You actually never get an answer as to how the coconuts ended up in Mercia, but
no, and they never get an answer from the two guards of the battlement. So.
And then it slips into the Bring Out Your Dead.
Yep.
And bring out your dead.
The real filth of medieval life. I think they actually probably nailed it here.
Yeah.
Come on.
The Robinsons have had 9 this week, you know. That's funny. I'm not dead.
I'm not dead. I'm
Shut up. You're not fooling anyone, you know.
I'm pretty sure. I haven't checked on IMDb, but I'm pretty sure that's the old man from Life of Brian who runs their hideout.
Oh, it probably is. Yeah, they use the same guys. Yeah.
Yes.
It won't be long. No, I've got to go to Robinsons. I've lost 9 today.
9 today?
Yeah. I think I'll go for a walk.
I don't have every line, unfortunately, because I'd be showing the whole movie. But
Yeah,
just smacks him on the head, which
whack.
Yep.
See you next week. See you next week.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
And then, I mean,
There we go.
It's
yes,
an assembly line of great sketches, and this. Oh God, I could watch this a million times. Not old. I'm not old.
Not old. 37. I'm not old.
Well, I didn't know you were called Dennis, so you didn't bother to find out, did you?
There's a joke that doesn't end. It's like, sorry about the old woman, but from behind, pause, just stops.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. He's giving him a lesson.
That's turning into a lecture.
Yep.
And then Terry Jones was always the best of these old. Didn't see some lovely filth down here? Oh, who are you? The Britons. Who are the Britons?
What? The Britons.
Just when you watch it, you've no idea where it's going to go. Like, this is all 1970s Marxist college shit.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. It's exactly what it is.
Because they all went to university in the 60s, so that's why they're. And that's what I like about the Pythons. They mocked everything equally, even though they were all fairly left-leaning. They just mocked everything.
Be quiet.
Yes.
I order you to be quiet.
I order you to be quiet. Her arm clad. Yeah.
Hell knows
in the water.
And it is a farcical story if you think about it.
Yeah, really.
Oh yeah.
King. Well,
that was the Victorian version of Arthur. This where the Lady of the Lake. Yeah, that's when that came in. The Romantics.
But it has to be Michael Palin has done some magnificent stuff in the years since, like ripping yarns and even up to the death of Stalin recently, which was but this has got to be in his top 3 finest moments of all time.
I'm telling you.
I agree.
Death of Stalin is fucking hysterical.
Oh, I love that movie. We're going to talk about it on here one of these days, The Death of Stalin, because I think more people need to see that movie.
I have never seen it. I'll have to do it for homework.
I like Jason Isaacs, who's the head of the army.
Yeah, he plays off.
You're not using my fucking soldiers, you know. I've got the army. He's not frightening any of the Politburo. I got the army. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for some farcical aquatic ceremony. I expect any sort of. So what, he turns his sword at you? I mean, if I went around saying I was an emperor because I live moistant bint because I'm moistant bint. I mean, where do you hear that except in Python?
See the virus is inherited system.
It's a dead giveaway.
Oh man,
bloody peasant.
Did you see him repressing me?
Being repressed. Oh god, it's so funny.
It is. Oh, I can't stop laughing just thinking about this flick. Oh, here we go. Black Knight and the Green Knight going at it.
One of the greatest scenes in all of cinema.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
They did enjoy having to do the sword stuff and learning how to do it. They were quite keen. Although I don't know if it's Cleese or a stand-in at this point. But
looks like half the budget went into that tent.
It probably did. Some of these scenes, they said, Terry Jones said they filmed not in Scotland, but back down in England, and they had a few more days to do it, and it looked a bit better because it had more time and, it just had a better feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
None shall pass.
And it wasn't raining.
It wasn't raining. Why didn't they just walk round?
Right?
I never got that. It's like that Star Wars thing, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why do you have to get the laser gate? Why don't you just walk around it?
Walk around the son of a bitch. Yeah.
Make what retards.
Oh man. Here we go.
Yeah. And again, you just don't expect any of this to happen.
No. It's leading up to such a great scene, though.
None shall pass. I move for
no man.
Must have a pretty singular existence.
Right. I sit here and fight everybody that comes across this road.
It's not such a bad fight, you know. It's pretty good.
No, it's good. Look, Arthur makes him look like an idiot. Doesn't he sidestep all his shit?
Yeah.
He does. He makes this guy look like a woman.
Just but a scratch.
Just but a scratch.
No,
spewing blood all over the ground, right?
Oh. Your arms off.
What's that then?
Points in it.
Come on, you pansy.
He's determined.
He's taunting him the whole time.
God be praised.
Oh my God. Whack.
And he starts bumping.
Yeah, he's
thank thee, oh Lord.
Go on then. Go on, I'll bite you.
What are you going to do? Bleed on me?
I don't know. You've got no arms left.
You stupid bastard. You got no arms left.
I'll
have your leg. Right.
Now, this what's funny about this is they actually hired a one-legged guy to do this bit.
You got to be kidding me.
A real one-legged guy, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So they could film this part because it was easier than trying to fake it. So that guy's probably his only film credit, but and then off comes this, you're loony.
Yeah.
I'm invincible.
We'll call it a draw. How about you? This bit with the legs. Oh, God. You yellow bastard.
The look on Chapman's face in that scene is just great, too. Seriously?
Back here.
What's coming? I'll bite you.
I'll gnaw your ankles off.
Yeah. By this time, that's like 4 killer sketches in a row.
Oh, my God. That's too great. And then we got these guys whacking themselves in the head with 2x4s. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That one I didn't get at all.
Yeah, and then
I do get it. They're punishing themselves. They're monks who this is penance.
Flagellation thing.
Oh, so this is like that guy in the Da Vinci Code.
It's supposedly a time of plague and all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Whacking themselves in the head, though.
And that is actually 2 lines from an actul Requiem.
Really? Wow.
In Latin.
Yeah.
They didn't make that up.
I never quite got the shaving foam part.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what was going on there with that. But anyway, a witch.
Burner.
And he's busy trying to. He's got a coconut.
He's trying to figure out how many swallows.
Yes. He's got a bird, a string, and a coconut.
Yeah. And you know, the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow European is something like 20.1 miles per hour or 29.5 feet per second. There's the official.
Oh my God!
Looks like Bob Denver from Gilligan's Island.
But only this movie would make you look that up.
Yes, that's right.
Well, 11 Alpha points out a really great bit of trivia, which I remember reading about an extra with no forearms for the scene in The Thing. With the chest biting. Oh, still the greatest, still one of the greatest frights in movie history.
Oh, dude.
I got better. You told me you knew. I got better.
And it's all like the running gags you see throughout the movie. Like in like half of these scenes, there'll just be a woman banging a cat against a wall for no fucking reason.
Yeah, just smacking a cat against the wall. Yeah.
Or beating a rug with a cat.
Yeah.
That's right, with the cat. Now, here's a bit of interesting bit for you. Terry Jones wanted to do a scene as a character called King Brian the Wild, whose sport was hunting and killing close harmony groups. And eventually it was going to lead up to he'd killed every one of them in Britain except Sir Robin's minstrels. And they were trying to get the minstrels to come and meet him, and he doesn't do it now. He's not doing that anymore. So they had to cut it for whatever, but that would have been hilarious. He kills and kills close harmony groups.
Oh man.
Anyway, sorry, I couldn't resist telling you about that one. It dressed me up like this. Yeah, that's right.
You dressed me up like
give
this.
me a wart. Oh, she's got a wart, whatever. Yeah. The notes. So yeah, Connie Booth here.
Oh my God!
You know,
They all want this chick dead, man. Wow.
Isn't his deductive reasoning is the Sherlock Holmes of his day? Yeah. She has got a wart. So and what else floats? You know,
a duck.
Duck. Yeah.
Very small.
Build a bridge. You can build a bridge out of her, but you cannot build bridges out of stone. You know. Yeah, the logic. What do? You burn them. What else burns?
Burn them. Yeah, they're all about burning this woman.
Yeah.
Wood.
They left the look on Michael Palin's face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Like a kindergarten.
Vidal's biting his blade. You see him laughing. Eric Idle laughing. It's so
Fighting his knife.
Make a bridge out of her.
You just can't argue with the logic, you know. It's true.
He floats.
Floats. But this, and the twist, of course. Cherries, gravy, mud.
Churches, lead.
Just shouting shit at random. And then, of course,
duck.
A
Exactly.
Duck. So logically, it's the same as
the same as a duck.
Very small.
She's made of wood.
Like a very small.
And therefore.
And he just happens to have a very large set of skills.
Yes, of course.
And then the twist.
Yes.
The turtle also floats. She actually does weigh the same as a duck. She is a witch, and she's a fair cop. It's a fair cop.
Yes, great line. It's a fair cop.
They got her. Larder scales would be a different thing. Yeah. Hope you're all enjoying this in the chat. There is, for those who have not filled it in, a poll about our favorite Python movies. Very exciting to be able to do a poll like this. The technology we have on this channel is unbelievable. No expense has been gone to whatsoever.
We spared every expense.
Spared every
expense.
So then the quest thing allowed them to fill the narration, some narrative linking, so that
Lancelot the Brave.
They all wrote their own bit and went off and did it.
The pure.
Nearly fought the dragon.
Vengor. I love the pictures. Look, he keeps retreating.
That's the chicken attacking him. Wet himself. And the aptly named are not appearing in this film. Deductive. It's like The Name of the Rose. The movie The Name of the Rose, which is a great movie. Deductive reasoning in medieval times.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he's got all these theories. And we come to Camelot at last, which is only a model. It's only a model.
It's only a model.
Shh. It's only a model. And then this bonkers song where you see.
Oh my God, Pythons, yeah. Forgot about this.
And various Pythons. We're knights of the round table. We drink where we're able.
We dine with here in Camelot. And
I love the hitting the helmets to make the.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's drumming with the helmets. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he hits a servant on the head, and that's where you hear the thud.
Yep.
And then he's clapping his feet.
We got down there to prisons.
They only hung me right way last week.
Didn't fudge your table. Impersonate Clark Gable, who won't be born for another.
I have
900
to
years.
push the Camelot.
And second thoughts, let's not go to Camelot. Tis a silly place.
It's a silly place.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's people groveling.
I'm averting my eyes. Well, stop it. Like those miserable sobs. Knock it off. It's Graham Chapman doing the voice for this as well.
King of the Britons.
Yeah. Of course, it's a good idea. Yes. Big Dave. Of course, it's a good idea. That is your purpose, Arthur. I'm just not telling you what to do with it when he finds it.
No.
But,
Right.
Quest for the Holy Grail.
Grail, and then God be praised. And then we get some animation.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The great animation.
I love that stuff. That's such a good piece. This is where he's winding the letters up.
Yeah. My favorite animation is when winter came and they had to eat Robin's minstrels and they were rejoicing.
Yes,
that's my favorite one. Love it.
I think we may have that one. Yeah. And the taunting. Guy de Lambert.
Oh man, here we go.
Yeah, here we go indeed. You can join us in our quest for the Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think it'll be.
You got to do the accent. You got to do.
You got to do the French accent, man.
It's right up there with Clouseau.
Yep, it's awesome. Look at this. These guys are all laughing in the background.
I told you he's already got one. Yeah.
Of course not. You are English types.
I am French, you stupid kidniggets.
Why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you silly king? It's the only French accent I can do.
Yeah. Guido Lambert. Go and ball your bottoms, you sons of a silly person. I blows it.
My nose at you. Suck off.
You silly English kniggets. Which is probably the way they would have said it then anyway. Knigget.
Yes.
Like knee. Look here, my good man. I fart in your general
direction. Your
mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries.
I said that to somebody once and they almost punched me.
I should taunt you a second time.
Oh my God.
And then things get awkward. Fetchy Lavash.
What? Fetchy Lavash.
Oh man, yeah, they huck a cow out of him. I forgot about that.
Rocky.
Rocky, run away.
That's funny.
Right, charge.
And then the other shit comes in. They've got a lot of animals they can waste.
My favorite was the live duck they chuck over there. And
right, the one wings flapping.
Right,
wings flapping. It's not falling.
Oh, here we go. Of course, the wise man is going to get together, get it going on.
Funny. Oh,
yes.
God. Such a clever piss take.
He's going to get him inside. Check it out.
Trojan rabbit.
He hears all this shit going on too. Yeah. Just you hear nails being driven and.
Yeah, but the saw is a powered circular saw.
I remember that. The French accent of the constable in Hello. Yeah. He was because he was English pretending to be French.
Yes.
And of course,
Trojan rabbit.
It's a Trojan rabbit.
There's a theme. I sense a theme. Attack, run away.
Oh man.
Allons-y, huh? Let's go. Here's the translate for one of the other soldiers.
They're all standing now, and you're thinking, why are they sitting there?
Right.
And then he explains the plan.
Wait a minute.
After the rabbit, taking the French by surprise.
Totally unarmed.
But wait a minute.
Who? Lancelot, Galahad, and I leap out of the rabbit.
Look, if we built this large wooden badger.
He smacks him on the side of the head.
And then here comes the rabbit.
God. Here comes the rabbit. They've catapulted it out.
Yep.
Smash. Quite an effective scene, that. It looks quite good the way they did that, yeah.
Yep.
And then they get this weird, it's the first part of the weird flashing forward to their present.
Right. He's a famous historian telling you about
He's a famous historian.
Yes, a famous historian.
Yes. Well, this is what convinces me that this isn't a flash forward. that the present day, you said, Brian, they were going to do, part present day, part old. Let's do it all old. I don't think they did, because this is present day involving them. And that's what confuses so many people who see this movie the first time.
Well, what we didn't see, because it's so fast in the frames, is the knights, a bunch of knights riding through and killing him with a lance.
Yeah, just whack. Yeah.
Big Dave K makes a good point. Belvedere's stupidity saved their lives, because if they'd been in the rabbit, they would have just got slaughtered.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe his cunning plan all along was to do that. So let's continue.
So she calls the cops. We'll see them later. Yeah.
We'll see them later. Now, this is actually a still photograph of some place in it's in Australia. So the forest viewing, it's Mount Buffalo,
really?
Mount Buffalo National Park, Victoria, Australia. I guess they just found a still photograph of something and said,
they used a stock photo and put in footage of it. I love it.
I think at that point, I'm going to just pause this. We'll come back to that. Not done with that. And we'll show a little bit of video. We're going to show one of the other trailers. There's multiple trailers for this. So let's show this.
Oh, for goodness sake, let us do it. Once in a lifetime, there comes a motion picture which changes the whole history of motion pictures. Now, from the people who brought you the 39th anniversary re-release of Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
and are already at work on the 41st anniversary re-release of Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
comes the long-awaited 40th anniversary re-release of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Back in the cinemas in a special new edition.
I told them we already got one.
With up to 25% more peril.
No, it's too perilous. We are the knights who say...
Bring your friends.
Carry coconut shell.
Wear fancy dress.
This isn't my nose, it's a false one.
You could even sing along if you like.
Stop that. You're not going into a song while I'm here.
See it again for the first time on the big screen.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberry.
Or if you've never seen it, see it now for the first time.
Or see it for the first time since you last saw it.
Or if you're very old or very ill, see it for what may be the last time.
I'm not dead. I think I could pull through, sir.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Back in cinemas for the first time since the last time.
God be praised.
Mocking their own selves because they do constant reissues and anniversary editions. I like those trailers, and they're copyright unstruck, which is good. This so we get the Bravely Bold Sir Robin. So
yes, and they're singing his
afraid
song.
to die, oh brave Sir Robin.
Killed in nasty
all
ways.
afraid to be killed in nasty ways. Brave Sir Robin. He was not the least bit scared to be mashed into a pulp.
Or to have his eyes cut out and his elbows broken. His knee
to have his
in his
knees
body.
cut in his body, no way. His liver removed and his nose unplugged. He's not sorry, it's spot burned off with his penis. That's enough.
Yeah. And there they are, Dennis and his mother. There's three. Who is that? And there's like three people on a skewer.
Yep.
There was actually supposedly a cut scene which had three maidens tied to a tree at this point.
To fight. Nothing really.
These three-headed knight bit was one of the bits that didn't quite work for me.
Yeah.
You know, the quibbling between them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, this is a bit filler. You snore.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah. I guess it was just the whole point of it was to have the song for Sir Robin.
Right.
Let's kill him anyway.
He's gone. And for him to be able to escape while they were arguing.
Yes.
Because
he turned his tail and fled. When danger reared its ugly head, Sir Robin turned his tail and fled. No, I didn't. I did not. Chicken out.
You go, chicken out.
Icky, ickies. Bang.
So here's our.
Yeah, they're
here's
diving
our,
off, right?
So this is the
There's the chant again.
He's buggered off. He's scarpered.
The tail.
And he lands in the picture in the illuminated letter, and his upside down is his vestments fall.
Yeah, and now we have one of the other great moments.
Wait a minute, but there's a very small joke after that falls and exposes his butt. The lady in the picture with him goes,
Yeah.
And that's one of those jokes you have, but you catch on about the fourth time you watch the movie.
There's the castle. First time I saw the name Castle Anthrax, I died. I thought it was gonna die. Castle Anthrax. It's a very welcoming place. It's full of strangely attractive young girls. But they say it was freezing in there, so the poor girls were always shivering and frozen at Castle Doon. Now, which one is this? She said her name. Was she Zoot or was she?
That's Zoot.
Zoot, yeah.
Yeah, first.
Midget and Crapper. The names Crapper. Midget and Crapper. And very, very big. Sir Gal had the chaste. Then he's Zoot. Just Zoot. She's not chaste.
Right.
No.
These girls are gagging for it. Yeah, this is his trial, of course. He is the chaste. Oh, God, it's funny. All between 16 and 19 and a half.
Yes.
With no one to protect us. I mean, why have they even...
A lonely life.
Bathing,
dressing, undressing.
Making exciting
underwear.
It was Dingo who lit the grill-shaped beacon. That's right.
No, it was evil bad Zoot that lit the beacon.
Oh,
Dingo
Zoot lit the beacon. Dingo was the one
Yeah.
that revealed that. Death by snoo joke.
Yeah.
They have
a basic
medical training.
Basic. How basic? Trying to relax. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But there must be. You're not using it.
Big Dave K. Dingo was Zoot's identical twin sister.
You haven't seen her yet.
We have not seen her yet.
Yeah, but he's rushing, so he rushes out here. It's full of maidens. They actually had originally planned to make them naked, but they wanted to get a lower certificate, and that would have put them up for. So they decided against it.
Yeah,
Dingo.
There's Dingo.
Trapper Dingo.
Bad Zoot.
Grail-shaped beacon, as if you would. It's not the real Grail. I'm afraid. Wicked, yes. She must be punished. Yeah, she goes, is the sketch working? We were so worried when the boys were writing it. Ours was committed. It wasn't a string of pussy jokes.
Get on with it.
One of the best lines again. Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on. We have one punishment.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it.
Get on with it.
Yep. Me and me. Spanking.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Spanking. And this is when he decides, well, maybe I'll just have this to come. And after the spanking, the whole thing. No, I'm fine. I'm coping. I can handle it.
Oh, please let him handle us.
Yeah. We'll cover your escape. I can tackle this lot single-handed. Yes, he can. It's so funny. There's only 150 of them. Oh, damn.
And Carol Cleveland gets the best line at the end after they're all going, oh. She goes, oh, shit.
That's right. They thought they were all going to get laid.
Yep.
It's my duty to sample as much peril as possible. Tell me a little bit of peril. From
Almost certain temptation.
Temptation. Scene 24.
Scene the old man from scene 24. Yeah. They're talking about the swallows again. Smashing scene with some lovely acting.
And this enchanter, of whom you speak.
Yes.
At least he knows of a cave. The cave.
No man has entered. There's much danger.
The gorge of eternal peril. Seek you the bridge of death.
Bridge of death, which leads to the Grail.
And then disappears.
Then he starts laughing maniacally, and everything evaporates around him.
They had to insert a bit of plot somewhere.
Yeah, of course. We have to drive them forward somehow, right?
Well, we have to make it to the intermission.
Yes.
There we go. That music. That was very British cinema. That's what they had. Music like that. Like that whole trailer with the Chinese restaurant, whatever. That was all so correct for the time.
Yeah. I watched the two Ronnies, and some of the stuff they did was, or Betty Hill. If you watch that, you get the same sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The night to say nee. That's stupidest sketch.
It is, and it's the dumbest word to act as to be a word of power.
Right.
That's what it is.
As Davina says, they broke the bank on the special effects. Yeah, it was a piggy bank, but they did break it.
Yes.
But that drove creativity. I mean, they all said it made them figure out how to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And do, like, the coconuts is the prime example, but lots of other places here where they had to figure out how to do it and how to film it to make it look like they were doing something that was effects wise.
Oh yeah, check out my man. He goes all the way down every level of this thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, this is an absolutely classic Terry Gilliam link that could have been used in the Flying
Dude, they're jumping up.
Clear off, go away. and the son, he just bows his head in shame, and then the gag, bloody weather.
Yes.
Brilliant animation. Yeah, very different as well. Very different.
Yep.
There we go. This castle. Swamp castle.
One day, my lad, all this will be yours.
Yeah.
What? The curtains?
The curtains.
No, not the curtains.
The curtains. But father.
I built this king out of nothing. When I started here, it was a swamp. So I built it all the same to show them.
Yeah.
It sank into the swamp. So I built another one. That sank into the swamp. I built the third one. That burned, fell over, and sank into the swamp. And the fourth one stayed up, and that's what you'll get,
lad. Strongest castle in land.
Yeah.
I
don't want any of that.
Terry Jones, isn't it?
Oh my God, man!
Sing.
Stop that.
You're doing a song when I'm here.
Father's the biggest.
We only have the budget for one song.
I don't want land. Or what is it? He doesn't just call him Herbert at first. What does he call him?
He calls him something else.
Yeah, there he goes.
No, Herbert. Well, that's a correction, Herbert, and then he says, "Okay, Herbert,"
because he keeps calling him mother.
Yeah.
A certain special something. Cut that out.
Cut that out.
Yep.
You're marrying Princess Lucky, so you better get used to the idea.
Oh my God, I forgot about this scene. Make sure he doesn't leave.
This
You stay here and make sure he doesn't leave.
This is classic Python playing with words and misunderstandings of words.
Right.
It's like the argument sketch or something. It's just, they love.
We don't need to do anything apart from stopping him entering the room.
Yeah.
No, leaving the room. Leaving the room. Yes.
Look, it's quite simple.
Quite simple. You stay here and make sure he doesn't leave the room.
E doesn't leave. He doesn't make the H sound at all. Right?
No, that's again. He's put his northern accent
in
on.
In room.
Yeah, no does. It's in room.
What? We'll stay here until you get back. What? The prince.
The prince. Oh.
Oh, him. I thought you meant him.
Oh, I thought you meant him. The other guard. See, to make daft have you got him when he's a guard.
Reminds me later of the biggest dickest stuff in Life of Brian.
Yes.
And then they leave with him, right? Where you going?
Yeah. Where you go? It's a similar setup to the biggest dickest.
Yes.
Shoot it.
it.
Shoot it. And he starts to
Get
sing.
that suit on.
He's going to sing. He's going to sing.
And the one guard, Graham Chapman on the right, keeps hiccuping and finally says, "Oh, go and get a glass of water."
Some water, yeah.
Right, I forgot about him hiccuping. Yep.
But this is the Pythons doing their gender stereotype reversal.
Oh yeah,
in a sense, picking the he's
just being so sly. He's looking right at these guys the whole time.
He's a wet rag,
and
and he hardly fires the arrow.
Again? He's making him stop making the sound as he jumps across, right? Yeah,
and he hits Concord right in the chest.
Come on, Concord.
Message
To whomever finds this note, I have been imprisoned by my father in the tallest tower of Swamp Castle. Please come and rescue me.
Because he thinks we just know what he's misinterpreting this as.
It's a damsel in distress.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's. I'm going to recover.
Okay, this is a gag that's been done that gets done more than once.
Yeah.
A daring and heroic rescue. In my own particular
idiom.
Idiom. Yes, idiom.
Of course, yes, idiom.
Now, how many times?
Yeah, she's a looker.
Yeah, she's a looker. All right, she's got huge tracts of land.
Yeah,
but this part where he's charging the castle, how many times have you seen that memed over and over and over again?
Oh, fucking million times.
I mean, dude, the last time I saw it done, somebody did it with Star Wars. They had a Jedi running at stormtroopers.
He's like they're standing there like this waiting. And he's like miles.
He's eating an apple or something, man.
Yeah,
he's still coming.
And then drums.
And all of a sudden he's there.
Yeah, he's on top of him in no time flat.
The same shot of him charging, essentially.
Oh man, it's the same piece of film over and over and over again. It's hilarious.
And the thing is, he goes on this rampage, killing everybody.
He goes on a tri-state killing spree in this joint, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Just poor people.
Ha ha!
Yes.
These poor
people and everything in sight, bro. This is great.
Yep.
So
knocks the stage down.
So there's a story that Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam told about this. It's you'll see in here there. So there's some steps. It may be these steps.
He attacks the flowers.
Yeah. So they had the production designer. And they said, okay, this is the room we want to do this in, and we'll need steps, and there's going to be a wedding, and blah, blah, blah. So the guy goes, oh, yeah, okay, I can do that for you. So they came back the next day, and he'd built the steps. Great, fantastic. The steps going up so that they could go up and fight their way up them. And they said, well, where's the rest of the stuff for the wedding? He says, that's not my job. I'm the production designer. You need a set dresser for that. They didn't even know they needed a set dresser. They thought he was going to do it all. So they were going to film this whole wedding thing, nothing except these steps in an empty castle room. So they had to go in, the two of them had to drag stuff in and set it all up, and it took them hours. They were so naive and never made a movie before, they didn't really need a set dresser.
Right.
That would do all that. Worked out in the end, but they said, oh, God. Yeah, he got a little bit carried away, and this is when he goes, oh shit,
Well, I got a note.
I got a note.
Yeah. I knew
Well,
someone
I think, all right, maybe some
somewhere would
stop
must
that.
be someone.
Stop it. And I love the fact that, as Terry Jones said, they made them speak to the camera, which isn't normal. Normally, people would speak to each other and the camera would be here. They made them always recite these lines to the camera, which was a bit of an experiment they tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's all set for the escape, right?
I thought your son was a lady.
Well, I can understand that.
I can understand that, right?
Put your sword through his head. That's the
Cost me
groom.
a fortune.
The groom, not the groom, the father of the bride. This is this is a very good pig. Oh, Camelot, good pig country.
Oh,
and he
man.
and cuts it.
He's
here.
It's him.
Yes.
But he's scheming.
There's no splash. It's the sound of something hitting mud.
Yeah.
That's so funny. He's already scheming how he can get Lancelot into his family.
Back to it, boy. He's going right after it. He's about to go get him.
Yeah. I just love this whole thing. He's going to adopt his daughter in a very legally blinding sense. Is now my daughter. And Lancelot here. Yeah. He killed my auntie. Well, this is supposed to be a happy occasion. Let's not bicker about who killed who.
Oh, there's one that's been repeated so many times.
Several times, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Let's not bicker about who killed who.
Who killed who. Unfortunately, when my son Herbert has died, it's just fallen to his death. I've lost a son as much as gained
a daughter.
A daughter.
This is
covered in blood, right?
He's not quite dead. You see him nodding to the soldier.
It's the near fatal wounding
of her father.
Getting better.
He's getting better.
It's getting better.
Or
since her own father.
But he seemed
about to recover. He felt the icy hand of death upon him.
I want his only daughter to look upon me as her father in a very legally binding sense.
A very real and legally binding sense.
The brave but dangerous.
But dangerous.
What? And
you fell out of the tall tower, you creep.
I'll tell you. He's going to sing. He's going
I'll
to
tell
sing.
you. He's going to tell. He's going to tell.
He's going to tell.
You're not fooling anyone. Yeah. Hey, Basco. Good to see you, mate.
I must escape now. Yes.
And they shaved Jones's head so badly. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great sequence. He needs a push, and he still can't remember the word. I'm going to make an escape in my very own.
I need to leave more dramatically, sir. Dramatically, yes.
This is the weirdest scene, though, when they're looking for the shrubbery and they start tormenting the old woman. It's very out of character.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny how they didn't get Terry Jones to play the old woman. But, and then just so happens that the plot requires Roger.
Nothing sacred.
Roger the Shrubber. Yeah.
I know a guy on YouTube that I used to see in chats all the time, whose handle was Roger the Shrubber.
Roger the Shrubber. He just happens to be passing. I'm pretty sure
these goons next to him in this scene are just great, man.
Yeah.
Just nodding their heads, and all.
Yes.
Yeah. It's these weird Viking style helmets. It's still not as good as Eki Fertang Oli Biscuit Barrel, which was the name of one of the characters in the election special. Eki Fertang was obviously something they liked.
Until recently said knee.
Yes.
Yes.
Not another shrubbery. So it's probably a split level effect. 2-level effect. The path going in the middle.
The path, the path, the path.
You must cut down the mightiest tree in the forest.
With
Where is a herring?
We shall do no such thing. It can't be done. What word? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says it's it's one of the words.
Yes.
But it is.
Yeah, I think the knight who says knee says it twice before he reacts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like trying to define the meaning of the word is.
Some people have trouble with that.
That's a deep cut for you. Yeah. And there he is throwing in the sponge. Yeah. It's good to see you. Yes, I think they had difficulty at times in figuring out, as you said, Roger, in how to end sketches.
Mm-hmm.
So how are they going to end this whole knights that say knee thing? Well, let's get Robin to appear and the it thing, and then we can just move on. And the police are on the job.
There we go.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the historian.
I like the old Rover car that they were using there.
Yes.
The Rovers, yeah. Oh, this is the one you were talking about, Joe.
Yeah, I love it.
There was
much rejoicing. Yeah.
Yes.
And the seasons changed.
Then the season changed.
And they were hungry. Hungry like.
And they were forced to eat Robin's minstrels. And there was much rejoicing.
Cheering and rejoicing.
And it's like everybody together. Yeah. Spring changed into summer. And winter gave spring and summer a miss. And went straight into fall, into autumn.
Autumn.
Yes.
It's all part
Doesn't that limb fall off and hit the guy?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The leaves don't fall off. The branches
the whole
do.
branch does. Boom.
Right. Because Terry Gilliam was animating it. It was like, it's easier if I just pull the branch off and have it drop on his head.
And now we get the whole rather bizarre Tim the Enchanter, where they blow their special effects budget in one go.
That's it.
Yep.
And not quite sure what Tim the Enchanter really does other than blow things up.
Our guy, FKHC 2005, better known as Tim, I blended a video together with him just doing the explosions, and then some call me Tim, and every time he comes on, I put that on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Davina, I think Rover had a large variety of models in the 70s. The Viking longship was particularly, the coupe version was very popular. Yes, Arthur did see it earlier and they didn't react, so it was a little bit of a, hey, it's Python, what does it matter?
Right? It's not supposed to make sense. Come on.
Yeah, knowing them, that's how it was supposed to be.
Indeed. I might find he's waiting for
what?
Yes.
A Grail!
And all he does is blow shit up.
Yeah.
Yes, I can help you find the Holy Grail.
And then he starts spitting all over.
It's
great.
The misting runes upon the very living rock. Isn't a Scottish accent?
It's a wicked accent, man.
Place of the most holy grail.
I mean, he's spitting all over him the whole scene too. It's great.
Yes,
Booger, you missed all the mooses. I'm sorry. There was a moose loose about this house.
Strewn about its lair.
It was an eccentric performance.
Death awaits you with big pointy teeth.
Yeah, winds howling. Always reminds me of The Witcher 3. Winds howling. They're nervous.
Dismount.
Yeah, referring to the horses.
A moose once bit my sister.
Oh man, here we go. Love it.
I actually thought his Scottish accent was pretty good. Obviously, it's an exaggerated one, but it wasn't bad. They didn't slip.
Yeah.
He didn't slip at any point. It was consistent. Yeah. What, behind the rabbit? And this is a real rabbit.
It's a rabbit.
It's a real rabbit. And they had a lot of trouble because they borrowed it off somebody and then they got it covered in this blood paint and they couldn't get it off and they got into some trouble. And Michael Palin says, we could have just bought our own rabbit. It would have been easier.
That rabbit's got a vicious streak a mile wide.
Look at the bones.
Look at the bones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Loony.
Right.
And this is great when
rabbit stew coming right up.
Leaps across and rips his neck out.
Whap.
I warned
you, but you didn't listen to me. You knew
didn't you?
Didn't you? It's just a harmless little bunny, isn't it?
Charge.
Yeah.
This rabbit
and then
just
it
goes
goes
to town, just killing people left and right, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
And you want to challenge? Explain this scene to somebody who's never seen the movie.
Never seen the movie and just walk into the room for the first time. Go for it.
No. Explain this scene to someone who's never seen the movie.
Well, there's this rabbit.
Oh, there was this killer rabbit. A what?
A what? A killer rabbit.
He might become so cross it will make a mistake. That's a good strategy. No worries. The holy hand grenade.
We have the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Yes.
Be a desert
Here they come. Whenever I can't figure out something, like if me and the missus are watching a show and I can't figure out where we've seen this actor before, I tell her I'm going to consult the Book of Armaments. That's what I call IMDb.
Armaments.
Yeah.
It could be a real book. What is worse, a moose bite or a rabbit? I think a rabbit bite on a moose is the worst.
Armaments 2, 9,
Chapter
21.
19, verse 1. And Titantilla. He's got that weird one. Like,
Lord bless this. Blow thine enemies to tiny bits in thy mercy.
Like carbon anchovies.
Who being not in my sight shall snuff it.
Not to be offensive to anyone who's into the Bible, but there are some passages that are a bit like that.
Yes.
3 shall beat the number thou shalt count.
Yes. One shall only, one shall not.
3 being the third.
5 is right out.
Yes.
Those being
naughty in my sight shall snuff it.
Shall snuff it.
Amen.
How they kept a straight face, I don't know.
1, 2, 5.
3, sir.
And now back to
the
shrubbery has been destroyed.
Yep.
So into the cave where there's some great animation.
Yes,
they've got to read the carvings first.
Right. Yes, they find the art on the wall.
Oh, he says,
what language is it?
Aramaic.
It's Aramaic.
Here may be found.
The last words of Joseph.
His last words were something like,
he was valiant and pure of spirit. May find the Holy Grail.
I don't have every line, unfortunately, in the Castle of. What?
What?
Castle what?
The castle.
He must have died while carving.
Well, that's what it says.
Perhaps he was dictating. They're arguing about it.
Oh my God.
Is that in France, I think?
No, come on.
Isn't there Aaaarggghhh in Cornwall?
Oh my God.
Get the back of the throat. Yeah, that's when somebody at the back
Ooh, in surprise and alarm.
Alarm.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my God, here comes
It's clever doing it in animation because they didn't have the effects.
It's the legendary beast of
Aaaarggghhh. Run away, run away.
Oh, here they go.
He clearly switched to Welsh at the end of the sentence.
Oh my god. Night screaming.
Oh, then this is
for Arthur and his night seemed hopeless.
Suddenly
the animator suffered a fatal heart attack.
And the cartoon peril was no more.
Wait a minute, that was so fast you didn't even get him.
He keels over
backwards. We saw it in the trailer earlier, but
yeah,
keels right over backwards. Yeah.
Plot contrivance. The bridge of death.
Watch Graham Chapman as they're walking. Was they're edging along? Watch him. They're right there. Look at him.
He looks like he's scared out of his mind.
I'd vote for the rabbit. I'd vote for the rabbit every day.
Everyone else is facing where they're going.
Right.
Graham is clutching that cliff like it's a woman's. Well, no, not a woman. No, he was gay. Clutching something else.
He was not happy.
No, he was really not happy here, having to do this.
I would make him single-handed.
But this,
hang on.
This is great. This is now we're getting up to another great sketch.
Oh, definitely.
3 questions.
I understand, my liege. Good luck, brave Sir Lancelot.
Yeah.
God be with you.
God be with you.
It's so funny. You must answer me these questions 3.
Ask me the questions, Briggs Keeper. I am not afraid.
What is your name? We won't have every line here.
Wait a minute. What is your quest?
What is your
favorite color?
Blue.
Right.
Off you go.
Off you go. And then that sucker's Robin right into it, doesn't it?
Yes, Robin's like, that's easy.
Clutching that cliff like it was a guy named Cliff.
Right.
Yeah.
He's all cocky.
He's like, get on with it. He's
yeah. I'm not afraid.
What is your quest?
To seek
I
the
seek
Holy
the Holy Grail.
What is the capital of Assyria? I don't know.
What? I don't know that. Launched into the abyss.
Yep.
Oh God! Stop.
Up. Yeah.
So Galahad.
Mr. Galahad.
Yes. Seek the Grail.
What is your
favorite color? Green. No, blue.
It says a skip to
blue. He says blue. No.
As soon as he changes his mind.
Soon as he says no, that's it. Boom.
Oh, this is funny.
This is your quest.
Yeah. What is your quest? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen
swallow? African or European?
African
what?
Or European?
I don't know that.
What? Yes.
How do you know so much about swallows?
You have to know these things when you're a king.
And then there were 3. Well, 2.
There's 3 left.
Yep.
You have to get, and I think they have some kind of intermissions right here when they're crossing the river.
We'll take that opportunity to play one of our remaining couple of remaining clips. This is the DVD trailer. So the trailer for the DVD.
Epic, historic, and utterly Python. Monty Python and the Holy Grail DVD.
It's not a very good name, is it?
Your prayers have been answered. Historians call Monty Python and the Holy Grail DVD historically inaccurate. And Joseph of Arimathea says...
We're knights of the round table. Our shows are fall.
On second thoughts, let's not go to Camelot. It is a silly place.
It has been decreed that extras shall be present on this epic tour de force.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
By edict of the king, you get subtitles.
I'm French! Why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you silly king?
Commentary from the troupe.
I'd like to demonstrate how the Commonwealth Garden coconut can be put to more practical use.
Let us ride to Camelot!
Is this particular hall for Camelot?
Partially animated menus.
Animator suffered a fatal heart attack.
Widescreen presentation.
Camelot.
It's only a model.
And more.
Bring out, Jenny!
Monty Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Buy it on DVD.
Now go away or I shall taunt you a second time.
One of my favorite memes is it's how most Dungeons and Dragons parties begin, and it shows the Fellowship of the Ring, all those guys together walking, and then it says on the bottom how most of them end, and it's got the guys sitting there trying to figure out how to get the large wooden badger in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny. Oh.
And Lancelot's being arrested, and they're calling his name because they've lost track of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and all filmed out in the Glencoe area. It's quite bleak but impressive out there. It's really nice. Yeah. Been there a lot. Yeah, this is one thing they did that did look pretty good. That ship.
Yeah. That ship is pretty badass looking.
It was made up well, yeah.
Yeah. It made me think of the boat in the final scene of Excalibur, really.
Yeah, and that's what it's meant to represent, the same boat, and it's a good movie. That, of course, a serious movie, but a good movie.
Dude, it's the measuring stick for Arthur movies, if you ask me.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I love it.
Nothing's measured up since, as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, nothing. No, that's the modern. That's the modern, more or less the modern Excalibur, the 19th century one.
They fired those sheep over the wall at them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Excalibur one, the John Boorman one is magnificent.
Well, I mean, it's one of the few movies that you see where they actually show how tough it is to move in that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys struggle to move in it. It's so heavy, you know?
Yeah.
They actually make it was realistic as far as the armor goes and the weight of it and everything and how cumbersome it is. And our French guy's back. Yay.
Yes.
So I think
the Frenchmen have arrived at Castle Aaaarggghhh.
My private parts of your electric donkey bottom
fighters.
Yeah. And you know that this is Cleese and Chapman writing the lines to the French taunter, because this was their specialty.
Burst my pimples at you. Then you blame numbers of other people's bottoms.
Whoppers.
I mean, we sometimes forget that these insults are as good as the ones earlier on.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
and then they pour shit all over them, man. Wow.
Yes.
Don't be approaching anymore.
We fire arrows into your heads.
Oh,
illegitimate faced bugger folk. Oh, it's such a good movie. It's definitely in the top 5 funniest movies of all time.
Oh, come on. It's got to be on everybody's top 5 list, man. Come on.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
This Blazing Saddles and Animal House have to be like in the top 3 spots.
And Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a super chat, and I'm so stoked. Thank you, Dave. Big Dave K, for $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend, for helping me keep the lights on and keep doing these shows so that I don't have to go out on the street corner whoring myself anymore. Every $5 counts.
I mean, he still does, but he just doesn't have to.
I still do, but then I do it for fun. $5, that's 5 tricks. So $5 from Big K. Was I the only kid who saw the ending of the Holy Grail and got pissed off at the end? I wanted to see those French knights get their comeuppance, and we all did.
Yes, of course we did.
So we're going to talk about that because we're almost at the end. We're going to talk about the ending.
Yeah, this is it. We're right there. Yeah.
But before that, I'd like to show something to thank you for your contribution, my friend. Let's see. Let's go for.
Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas? A what? A plethora.
Yes, Effie. You have
Thank you, Big Dave K. I really appreciate it, mate. I mean, I don't get a lot of super chats, but I appreciate the ones I get. Thank you. Right. So the ending. We're coming to the ending. The Pythons themselves, these are all students from Stirling University, said they really didn't know how to end it. They didn't have an ending. And they only had these guys, like, if they were going to have a big battle with this army, they had them, like, for a day, $2 a day.
Yeah.
Didn't have the money, didn't have a lot of people, didn't have anything written. So they basically said, well, what can we do that can just confound expectations and fuck everything up, basically?
Well, I mean, that's basically how they've written every scene in this movie, where they'll get you right to the setup, or through the setup, and then just take a left turn and never mention it again.
Right.
Never get back there. Yeah.
So what's the worst thing we could possibly do?
Arrest them.
one will expect. Get those police to come in and arrest them that they've planted throughout the rest of the movie. Just when you think you're getting a battle.
Right.
But I was angry too when I saw it. I went, is that it? I wanted a battle. I wanted the French guys to get screwed.
Yeah.
No.
But I have to, I've got to say, I mean, I was older when I saw that. I didn't see this when it came out because I hadn't found Monty Python yet. I saw it. PBS showed it after this came out. And that was when I fell in love with Monty Python. And I saw Life of Brian and Meaning of Life in the theater, but I didn't get to see Grail in the theater. And so I was older. And what I loved about this was like the Brigadier coming in and going, no, this has gotten too silly.
Yeah.
Right. Stop it.
You're never going to do this. This is not going to work. And the police come in and do it instead. And they bust the camera. And it ends with a broken cinema camera.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's the way Monty Python would avoid having a punchline. You know, because you'd have to have the French taunter say something or whatever, or have a big battle. And that would have been expensive, time consuming. They didn't have the Sterling University students for long. So there's no way they could film, a week's worth of an actual battle against that castle. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to bring something in like, what was it? Turn left signs.
Right.
That attack people.
Attack vicious turn left signs.
Vicious
not
turn
to be
left
confused
signs.
with the packs of vicious grannies that attack people and
Hell's grannies.
Yeah,
So
Hell's grannies.
I'm going to end the poll. Poll is ending. Let's see what people ranked of the 4 choices that there were their favorite Monty Python movies. What happened to the damn poll? I just ended it and it's disappeared.
It's at the bottom of the chat. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, 68%.
Right.
Life of Brian, 17%. That was mine. Meaning of Life, 12%. And Now for Something Completely Different, 2%.
I think
41 votes.
It's weird. I can't see it at the bottom of mine. Sorry, everybody. I was going to show that. So the winner was Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
Absolutely. By a lot.
By a
large
margin.
I don't know where it went. You can see it, but I can't. That's bizarre.
I'm looking at YouTube on another window.
I can't see it here at the back end, which is bizarre. Oh, there it goes. It's come up now.
Okay.
So then I can highlight it. You see, just so we can see that properly. Paste. There we go. It should come up now, and then we can highlight it. Yeah, so Holy Grail 68%, Life of Brian 17%, The Meaning of Life 12%, and Something Completely Different 2%. I would have suspected that is the way it would go, although there's a case to be made that Life of Brian and Holy Grail could switch depending on which movie you're showing on the day.
Yeah, well, I'll give my reasons for choosing Life of Brian. Life of Brian is the one of all of their movies where they did the best job of tying sketch comedy into a story. And it's certainly the most controversial movie they made.
Yes.
They very nearly got convicted of blasphemy in Great Britain, and that would have put them in prison.
Yeah.
Had they lost that court case.
I like the message in it. Oh, it's
yes.
They're the meek. I'm glad they're getting something. They've had a hell of a time.
Yes. Yes. Listen to the cheesemakers. Well, I don't think it's because, all manufacturers of dairy products. I mean, it is all about people who rationalize their belief in the latest, greatest craze that's going around. It really has nothing to do with traditional faith.
No.
It is followers of fads. And
anyway.
this movie is absurdity, to some, power of 10 that even the TV sketches couldn't manage. And the fact that they managed it on such an incredibly small budget is absolute brilliance. So I will never criticize anybody for liking this movie better than Life of Brian. But there's just something about Life of Brian that makes me want to start at the beginning, watch to the end, and try not to not to even have to pause it.
I think they knew much more what they were doing by then, so they made a much more sophisticated movie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Holy Grail's rough around the edges, but at the same time, it's got some of their funniest material ever.
Yeah,
and just so quotable. There are bits of it that don't work so well, like Three-Headed Knights for me, but Brian's got more of a story, but there's still some great. I mean, I saw it at the cinema at the time. I think I was 13. Absolutely died. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm
it's
like
a great.
I'm like Red Shirt. I saw Holy Grail on television and saw the rest of them in the theater.
Yeah. No, I was just old enough to go and see it in the cinema, and it was like. And I hadn't seen all of the TV shows because they were on quite late at night, and they started when I was.
They did that the same way in the States too.
I was only
six. Me and my brother stayed up late to watch it at 10 o'clock at night on LPB.
10 o'clock on Sundays in the New York market.
I was only 6 when they started showing them. I wasn't allowed to stay up till 11 o'clock at night to watch what would be an R-rated type TV show. So I didn't really see a lot of the TV shows. The movie, though, I was desperate to see, and I could see it. So anyway, it's great. And it's just got some great Python stuff in it. It's got some great satire.
You could do a show on each one of the movies. You could do a couple of shows on the friggin' seasons of the circus.
We had a couple of things mentioned earlier we might think about doing. Somebody mentioned a movie. What was it? We said we should do that. Anyway, we'll come back to it. Thank you, everybody. We're going to get wrapped up now. I'm really thank you for staying with us, everyone on YouTube and anyone watching on Rumble. We've had a lot of fun. Your chats have been hilarious. Thank you to the great panel on this cult comedy crew. Pope, my friend, your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. What's happening with you, man? What are you doing?
Well, you guys can catch me every Saturday night at 11 Eastern over on my channel on Rumble, where we do Midnight Mass, a 2-hour radio show where I play you guys just some of the stuff I listen to and some of the stuff, I think more people should be hearing. I get requests from the chat sometimes that sometimes even I haven't heard. So it's cool for me too.
Indeed.
And then other than that, I think next Sunday we're gonna be doing another show on Vinyl Revival's channel. So that should be great. I think CCR is going to be the next one we cover.
Oh boy, his favorite band ever.
Indeed. That'll be great. You can always talk about those guys forever. Thanks for being here, buddy. Go check out Pope on Rumble and Saturday night if you've got time. Midnight Mass, awesome stuff.
And if you haven't watched this movie, stop watching right now and go watch it. You'll
go watch it.
Never
go
regret.
buy the DVD and watch the extras. You'll just you'll
see why we're laughing. Trying to explain it to you.
Yes.
Red Shirt, my friend, really appreciate you being here. I know you're a big fan of Python, so it was fun for me to have you too.
This was great.
What are you up to, my friend?
Well, next Tuesday I'm going to be on 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. Probably see you there. And let's see, today's the 6th, so Saturday's the 9th. I'm looking for something here to see if there's something scheduled. No, it doesn't look like they're doing a show next Saturday, so I don't think I'll have anything this weekend. So my next show I'll be on is going to be next Tuesday, Toxic Tuesday on 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser.
We're doing Bond.
And we're doing Bond.
Octopussy. Octopushy. Yes.
I must be dreaming.
Yes. Well, thank you, Red Shirt. I'll be there with you for that. Joe, my friend, it's always a pleasure. What you got going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Just the regular schedule. Next Tuesday, when I do my video game stream, it's going to be DC Universe Online. But the rest of it's the regular schedule, man. You guys go check it out. It's right there on the page. So go over to Joe's Atmosphere on YouTube or the big green play button or wherever you watch your videos at. You'll see me.
Cool. The hardest working man on YouTube.
I enjoy doing it. That's all.
Yeah. No, you're great. It's great to have you here, mate. I'm so glad you can make it. Thank you, everyone in the chats. Thanks to the mods, D-Bud Martin, Stalwart Chap, obviously Davina and Sentient Morning too. Thank you to them as well. Thanks to everybody in the chat for taking part. Thanks for the super chats, the membership gifting, anything that can keep the channel going. We're up to about 18-20 subs on YouTube now, so we're creeping towards that 2K mark that I'm trying to get to, just for mere personal satisfaction more than anything else. We're doing some good stuff though, so I've enjoyed. It's enjoyable. I wish I had more time to do more videos, but I have put a couple of videos up recently. One was about a great Korean movie you can watch on Netflix called Uprising. I recommend it thoroughly. It was.
I'm sure you're hyped for Squid Game as well.
I am
pretty quick.
And I did do a video recently of 5 Korean TV shows I'm looking forward to. That is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The hype is real. I do love that show, and I'm looking forward to doing something about every episode. I've never done a watch along thing. I might even try and do that. So, but there are other good shows coming out too in the Korean sphere. So check that video out about that. I won't be doing anything Friday night because I'm going to a hockey game in my little town here. It's one
Nice.
for Veterans Night, and I'll be going to that. Saturday night Veterans Dinner because it's coming up for November 11th. Saturday night will be at the Legion, so I won't be doing bourbon and boarding. Brahma will though. Brahma will be doing bourbon and boarding. I just won't be doing it because I'll be at a Veterans Affair, and then stuff will happen. I don't know what we're going to do next week. Next Wednesday night, have to think about it. I have ideas, but we'll see.
Well, I'll be here to move my guys over to you, and I'm sure you'll be here to move your guys over to Zach.
I know Pope keeps talking about the black hole, so maybe we should do the black hole.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
old science fiction show. You like doing the science fiction stuff.
Let's maybe that's top of the list, so we'll see. Anyway, yeah, thanks everybody. We're going to redirect everyone over to Zach's, who's doing a great show. His What's Good Wednesday is about movie presidents. So you just missed the bit about Independence Day, so you'll have to rewind. Anyway, go over, go say hi, go see Zach, say hi. I'll be over there saying hello.
I went and saw Independence Day on opening day, which was July 2nd, and I went back on the 4th just to hear his speech.
Freaking great movie.
Yeah, it is.
So until next time, everybody, keep on rocking, stay well, and I'll see you all soon. It's been a blast. I'm trying to think of a Pythonism to finish with.
Stop that! Stop that!
Stop that! It's silly. And then the camera goes off. So good night, everyone.